And there's a lot of weird stuff with AI. Like, I swear to God, I think if everybody, I don't know, because you can only see what you can understand. You can't understand. Like, I was meant to understand this stuff. Because Westworld, I just can't imagine anyone watching Westworld and not all of a sudden going, oh my God, you know, but so much stuff of people talking about AI, and it's very much like, you know, two camps on the topic. And, you know, we got to see how that plays out. Are these going to people are going to be so outraged by what they're about to find out that it's going to turn them in the other direction? This is that Christ consciousness opening up. And I just saw this coolest breakdown. Oh my God, it was so cool. I've never seen, I mean, like, I know the Truman Show is real. You know, I think it is also like Westworld. It's like, I don't see how you can watch that and not recognize what's going on. But what was cool is how this guy broke it down in Christ consciousness kind of way. That the representation of each thing and the names of things. Oh, it was really cool. Really enjoyed it. And, you know, that was something, because Jesus Christ, I swear to God, you have to go through like 100 videos to get to one that you want to hear. And what I had noticed is not only is my phone feel like it's electrocuting my hands, and it doesn't, this isn't just like shocks. This is like penetrates. So it starts like making these like cramps in my hands, but then I go put my phone down and it will continue and continue. Sometimes it'll work up my arm. It'll even start going on my leg. So it's like traveling these nerves in our body. And it has got to be, I don't understand all of the stuff with frequency. Like, I know we're energy and we're frequency. I know we are a very complex hologram that is based on frequency and stuff. Like, I know a lot of this stuff, even if I can't get across like how to explain some of it, like I can see it. When you can see it, it just will make sense to you. But you got to just keep opening your mind and trusting yourself to see more and more and more. But anyways, something just crossed my mind when I was talking about that. So I had just seen this video, and this was cool. I saw, there was a couple cool ones. Okay, this one was, so I'm going to do this kind of without saying people's names. Like, I'm going to say Jeffrey E. And he worked for, man, these are going to they're going to try and tag words, because that's what they've done the whole time, is they tag words somehow, and their thing goes through and catches words, and then they use bots to go in and police and stuff. And boy, you can get caught up on TikTok. Boy, I see these wars going on with, man, there's a lot of war. Like, I can barely even handle going on TikTok. It's a challenge, but it's like the only place I can go and see what's going on. I used to do Twitter. When I went on Twitter is when I found out, like, fuck, you find out a lot of shit that's going on here. And so I was like, damn. So I was really disappointed when I got kicked off Twitter. And then, you know, I hadn't had that again until recently on TikTok. And where you just are seeing so much stuff. And so it is, you know, I really like to go on there, but they're messing so much with the algorithm and stuff to try and keep people asleep. Like, I mean, it is absurd. Like, you really start seeing it too, I swear to God. Like, if I still just had like 1,000 followers, I get more, I got more views and stuff. I've seen people with 100 followers that get more views, you know. And you know, I know that once it gets up like that and people start seeing all the time, because I'm constantly putting stuff on. It's not like every once in a while you might see me. You see me all the fucking time. So I make their job difficult, because I'm always slamming and putting videos in. And then, you know, and they're always holding them back and stuff. And when one starts going, you know, I feel them sweating. And they'll just like stop. And then the next video will be like, I've got a video still with 80 views. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's people with no fucking followers who would put a video on who would have more views than that. It is absurd. And so but you can really recognize it as your account grows of how much they manipulate. And then I hear so many people talking about it now, and that's how I've started being able to understand like what they're doing with this account and the other one. Whatever it was when I was on Twitter. And then I don't know how much of it has to do with the Secret Service coming out here. Like there's a lot of stuff, like I feel like I'm going to know more about some of my stuff. Anyways, that's what they tell me all the time. Like, boy, yesterday they were really telling me a lot of stuff. But it was like a lot. Anyways, so I don't know if it was just when I got kicked off Twitter or whatever is when I got put in, I can't remember again what that guy called it, but he said it happened when he was on Twitter. Yeah, because he had too much influence in the other direction, because they want to influence in, the progressive direction. They have a progressive direction they're taking us. It's based on democracy, and they are, very controlled democracy. That's very progressive. So stupid. So anyways, but, people have to wake up because they're just, they think they believe the words. They're not in touch outside of here, because mostly they stay trapped in here, spinning out and not being able to hear over the noise they create. So they spin out and they can't hear the whispers, the talking, the guidance, the love, the guidance to your self-love. Because that's what it guided me towards. So I'm assuming it kind of works the same for everybody. But, that is always what it was guided for me, was to learn to love myself, take responsibility for myself in all aspects of life, and to learn to accept and love others. And it's a challenge. We're very programmed. It's very challenging. Judgment is a part of our program. It's part of the division. It's part of keeping us separate. And, and it's weird. It's kind of like, it seems like kind of like a universal breath for us to come out of ourselves, to touch one another energetically, and then go back into ourselves to become our best selves. So it's like this, it's like an expansion, because it isn't about you and them all. It's about you putting that out. And we all start to put it out. If that makes sense. Like, sometimes I don't know, because I can see it, but I don't know if I'm explaining it right. And yesterday when I said something about like, well, I think I'm doing this. And the whole thing is because I can think what I'm putting out is a certain thing, but it's all by the receiver. You don't know the truth until the receiver projects back what the information is that they are gaining, because it's all different levels, And the only reason I say I'm in a different one, which I swear to God, I feel like I'm just programmed, like I was put into this as a program thing for this specific thing. Because there's a lot of things. But the whole thing is I just know so much stuff that people don't know. I see so much that people don't see. I understand so much that people don't understand. And so, and I know I'm not the only person. I just know, like I was saying yesterday, that it's something. And I don't know if it was, on some level about this just being this prisoner place, and them having to bring more light. And, those of us who came in with the light were very programmed into the light, or that's our soul identity or whatever. Because, a lot, when they show me a lot of stuff throughout my life, I can see from the time I was little, even in a crowd of kids, there is a couple of times that, I've done some naughty shit. Some shit where, my internal was, I told you, they'll always be like, go, run, But they're patient. They're patient. They know I'm going to learn from everything. And they're always there guiding me and explaining things to me. Like, I feel sorry that not everybody has that. But I feel like everybody has it. But they just don't hear it. I feel like that's part of my thing, is to help people hear it. To understand, to heal the noise that they have going on that keeps their thoughts scattered, so that they can really start to tune in to themselves and their guidance and stuff, because your life becomes so much easier. It's just so weird how people are so cut off that they do things that, are going to make them feel bad, and they don't realize it. Everybody is projecting. Everybody is just focused on their pain and their suffering. And, I swear to God, people think they do live so much in the past and so much in the future. And, I know I live in the future, but there's also a whole thing about manifesting that is seeing your future as you want it to be. And, I have plenty of time. I can focus on that as much as I want, because I'm still productive. I take care of myself. I take care of another living being. Right now, I'm taking care of a lot of animals out. I don't know if it was a lot of animals, but I mean squirrels and birds. I don't know if any bears or... when I was doing the compost, I did get concerned when there was a bear in the neighborhood. I was like, oh, knock my fence down and just go in and start eating all this stuff. But, I think, I don't know, I'm located right on this path where they come in all the time, but I'm a couple houses over. Which yesterday I was outside for a minute, just a quick minute, because they gelled us yesterday. It was weird as fuck. In the temperature, I know that it's something they do with the temperature, and how it's just like a fucking chemistry thing. But it was, I can't even remember, because they keep doing these weird fluctuations with the temperature. It seems like it was like so frigid, ice cold, that you would get frostbite if you were outside very long. I go outside and I'm doing something, and I come in and my fingers and stuff hurt so bad, but also, that can be my own circulation. So that is, we can never base everything on what somebody tells us. We can just take it in. Like when I go in and listen to all the people in TikToks and stuff talk about what's going on, I'm just trying to take in like an energy, what's going on, what's affecting people, what are people paying attention to, what's happening outside. That's what I'm looking for. And I run across some interesting stuff, but you also run across a lot of just shallow shit where you're like, what the fuck, Jesus Christ. But anyways, so it was weird because it was dry, but so it looked wet on the ground. And so I was like, well, how is it wet on the ground? I swear to God, it looks wet. Is it drizzling outside? So I went and I looked on the thing, because I knew it wasn't raining. And so it said, I think it said it was drizzling. I don't even know. Every day they have some fucking weather bullshit. And, but it was saying something about rain. Then I saw, we're going back to snow and freezing again. Motherfucking shit. I'm so fucking, god damn, I can't want to, God, I just cannot wait until this shit is over. I swear to God. But, it is like on the Truman Show right now. Like we're on the boat. We're trying to get to, well, he hadn't seen yet. And that's what's going to happen with so many people. Is they're going to crash into the wall, and then they're going to see. But, for those of us who know that there's a wall, we're just waiting to get on those stairs and get the fuck out. Oh my God, damn. But anyways, so the temperature was kind of funky. It felt really, really frigid. And then I looked, and it was saying something about there was going to be rain and it was going to stop. I don't even know all this shit. But so I went out. And I think it was a bit later, I just kept paying attention. And when I went out again, it must have been, with Stell. And there was like this gray kind of stuff, but it was very patterned. Just like when I had noticed when they had sprayed the trees, not this September, but the one before. You know, so what they put on us, what they're always putting on us is a slow sickness. You know, it's a slow process. And then it's what they do with their chemistry is just to put another little added thing to make it worse, another little added thing to make it worse. That's why so many people are sick right now, you know, is that. And then this 5G stuff, because I know this is why my hair is falling out more now, and why my head keeps tingling and stuff. And I try and keep my phone away from me, and I can't even handle holding it. I always have to have it sitting somewhere. So I'm just going to stay off of it more and more of, you know, I've already have been so much more limiting on the TikTok anyways, just because energetically it feels like a tornado, or it feels like chaos. It feels really weird, like the energy on it. Like so many people are so argumentative and stuff. But anyway, so when I went out there so it looked like this grayish gel was everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. I even did a video, you know, oh, here we got the space dust. They've sprayed some sort of, you know, kind of like if you sprayed a really, really fine, clear gelatin on the ground. And then, because you can hear the drizzle like sound and stuff, like you can hear every drop. So they're really heavy, they're dense. So it's like when they get onto the ground, then they make some sort of slickness or something. Then they spray this other stuff. And I was even like, it just sucks when she goes out and she gets this on her paws and stuff. And yesterday I was just like, fuck, I gotta wash it. When I saw that, I was like, I gotta try and wash her off. But it's hard whenever she goes in and out, in and out. It's like you got to have a fucking buffer room in your house, like a detox room, hazmat, like, you know, like in the movies where they show that, spray off before you come in here. And then she'll come in and I'll start sneezing, and I mean, so stopped up. And my eyes have been getting so much worse. But the thing is I've heard a bunch of people saying, you know, I don't normally have anything wrong with my eyes, and something's going on. I can't see good, and my eyes are going bad really fast. And so, you know, it is just having issues already from them lasering my eyes that, where I just feel like I feel it faster, you know. Everything keeps just being where I'm just like a little bit ahead of everybody, like on the stuff in my own, you know, my own reality. I have to be my own comet, you know what I mean? Like I don't have anybody up there guiding me and telling me, it's all up in here. And so anyways, when I was out there, it looked like this funk or whatever. And then I had to walk out for a second and do something. A little, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I'm trying to stay indoors. And, when you walk on it, it's slippery. It's not slippery like ice. And then even the temperature changed again. So, you know, I don't know what this funk is. I was even trying to, you know, clean the bottom of her paws and stuff. It's like, motherfuck, man. They just don't, it's just such bullshit. It's just irritating. But another thing that I had seen, excuse me, lady. Another thing I had seen when I was outside was the trampoline thing. And so when I saw it, I was like, you know, it is really, he did choose a good spot to put it, because it's kind of like how their land is with the trees and stuff. So I was like, you did pick a good spot. You know, it's not perfect for me, but, you know, everything in this neighborhood is becoming louder and louder and louder to push me, you know, in another direction. So it is, I mean, it's literally even coming louder. But, you know, that is all to direct me, you know, to release my attachment, to be prepared for movement. And so I'm all, you know, I have like everything that I had thought, except, you know, about the rent. As long as I have this place, my plan is to rent it to travelers, you know, and hopefully there's going to be, when people start traveling and stuff, there's going to be people who want to stay, you know, for a few weeks or a month, and prices are going to be so much different. It's not going to be like now. I may even get into ones that have trading or bartering, or, you know, trade home trades and stuff like that. I want to see how those kind of things develop, because I have a lot of that stuff in my mind. But I was even thinking, you know, where he has his trampoline, that would be really good for people who come here with families, because I was thinking I'm going to put a fire pit out there because I'm pretty sure 2 of those trees I'm going to have to take down. I don't know. There's so many dead ones. It's like, oh, damn. So I don't know. I always got to see. I'm hoping for some magic with this quantum shit to come in, and I don't know. I kind of feel like the cities are going to be left as graveyards. But anyways, when I was thinking about his trampoline and that kind of thing of families coming here for a couple weeks or summer or whatever, I was like, oh, they would like to have kids right there playing, so kids can start talking and have something to play with. So I was like, that would really be a lot more better for people who are coming here with kids. And then people who are coming here, as a ski play, like, I don't want to turn it into like a rental for just partiers to come on a weekend of skiing. See, I don't want it to be like that, because this place to me is about healing. And, I would like it to be like a retreat kind of place for people, just because it was so healing for me. But that was that gift of that time, and I don't, just like, sometimes you can't repeat moments, and it was a gift from my God to me. So, it's been great for me, but I know I don't want it to just be, turned into a party house. I want it to be one even where I can come, and my kids always have, or my grandkids always have, a place that they can go with their friends, and, a getaway place. And then for travelers, because a lot of people want to travel, and they know things are going to open up, even especially as more and more jobs are being taken over by AI. Then this is perfect timing, really, with the Jubilee, because there's so many jobs that AI can do that we don't have to do, because it is most important is that you take care of yourself. But there is going to be other things. Like, I was watching this show and I was thinking about the clothes thing. But anyways, I'll just finish this real quick. But did I finish it already? Maybe I did. But anyways, I was just having a new perspective on the whole trampoline thing. But I know, like, I've seen the arguments, I've seen the fights and stuff on Nextdoor. I've seen how people get in neighborhoods, and then the HOA and how it's just all like, but people get in. Well, I mean, we had that shooting here, like, between neighbors. So, people get irate over stuff. But the way I look at it is because this isn't how we're meant to live. This is the way we're being forced into living. And, you gotta, when you feel it and you can feel the discomfort, there's a lot of people that just want to blame it on somebody else. And so, if you weren't doing that, they're not thinking about how tense they are. They don't realize everybody's energy of everybody else's tenseness. They don't realize the toxicity behind pharmaceuticals and alcohol and all this stuff. So, they're just a time bomb in there. So, and then, of course, they're going to be tense. There's so many people who are trying to detox off of pharmaceuticals now, who are having so many issues. They're like now being diagnosed with bipolar, now being diagnosed, like, it's like, they fucked with your system. You got to get your system back in alignment. You got to get to know yourself. You got to get to know your system. You got to get to know your body. It's about tuning in to mind, body, spirit. You're a perfect being. Don't let them label you and diagnose you. It's only about prescribing for you. So, you got to release that stuff. Don't release the pharmaceuticals and one detox and then go right back into another label or another diagnosis, because that's all it is. That's all it's used for. I've had Western medicine give me every situation to show me, I had to go through a lot. But, and I can tell people, but a lot of people have to go out and experience it for themselves. They're not going to know until they feel it, until they feel the pain. It's just the way it works. But, that is what we're here for. That's what we're here to learn. We're here to expand. So we shouldn't shame the process. We should, just experience it. And don't judge your emotions. Like, it's okay to be angry. It's okay. Like, you're here to feel emotions. You're here to process what emotions feel like. You're here to figure out how to bring balance into your life. And so, and everybody has their own, their own perceptions. I mean, as just a weird thing that I just get hung up on is, how I have lived my life compared to other people. And there's like the things that they show me and stuff and tell me, but like a lot of bad things happened to me throughout my life. And I never turned dark. I always stayed positive. I always stayed focused on being a good person. I stayed focused on the love, that kind of stuff. And I know, because I hear what people say. I hear what people talk about. And there's a lot of people, any challenge takes them down, and, they turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, they turn to sex. My addiction was shopping, it's just as toxic. I mean, it's just going for a high, and then you get yourself so burdened by debt. So it's just as toxic, I mean, it is why people start committing crimes. That is why that doctor who damaged my brain, he was committing crime. Insurance fraud was financial debt after his son burned down that whole fucking rich neighborhood. So, the people, they, just like I was talking about with the realtors and stuff, so many people, they go into certain jobs and think that they're doing something good, but temptation comes, anger comes, resentment comes, and it's what you do with those things. Do you choose to go and follow the dark, or do you choose to follow the light? Do you stay focused on letting go of things and trying to just, keep climbing that mountain? Don't let it, even if the wind comes and knocks you down some and you have to start again, you just keep going. And that is like ingrained in me. I don't feel like that's what's hard for me to comprehend, if I ever even had a choice. It just feels like it's just me. It's inside of me, and but, when I try and understand things on a spiritual level, and I, try and understand, and then they just, just said loud in my head, don't compare. So I got to get off of the whole thing of trying to understand it. It is like, those are the kind of things I don't think that we'll ever understand, is how we're all, I just know it's based on frequency, and is that frequency is based on how you understand and comprehend, and that words can be said to you in one frequency and another frequency, and they have totally different meanings. And so all souls are always yearning to experience and learn and grow and expand. You're not going to find an energy that wants to burn out and become dormant. They want to expand. How we expand is through experience and through knowledge. It is the expansion of this universe. Like, I don't know what other, like, there can be other kind of universes that are expanding different things. But in this universe, it was created through experience, so that we could go in and project into, understand what life is, and understand what we are and how we would be in a life. But we are the creators of life, because life only exists because we want it to exist, so that we can experience. So it is, it's a complex kind of concepts, because I think basically the problem is just the programming since we were born onto this planet was misrepresentative of what is true. And the thing that is, the issue is because I believe that they knew the truth and that they were purposely misleading people. And so that is what, has been, something. But it has also been really, beneficial to me, because seriously, I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything. I'm sure anybody who has been authentic about their beliefs in aliens and stuff throughout, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s, 20s, the 2010s, through any of that time. Well, no, I was fucking in 2015, 2016, I was being laughed at. I was having someone walked out of a luncheon and never spoke to me again. So, yeah, people think that people who believe in aliens are wacky. And me on the other side, knowing that it's not just aliens, they're not just monsters in the sky, they're the ghosts, they're the souls, they're everything. That you are those things. They are all around you. And that, it's and that it is your, your attention, where you pay attention. What's blowing everyone's mind is like, oh my God, there's a spiritual world. We've moved into a new dimension. We've moved. It's like, no, you've expanded your awareness. It was always there. It was always right there. You just didn't have the awareness of it. You thought it was crazy, so you weren't paying attention to it. It was always there. So where people think like we're moving into these, no, you're expanding your mind. You're opening your mind up. You're expanding your focus beyond yourself, but it is so ego-based how people are so focused. And I swear to God, it is like some sort of school for consciousness to go in and expand. It is like, I just saw someone explaining something, and it was one of those chart things that I had never seen before, about like we're in purgatory, and then, we have to raise our vibration and move our way up. Like there's all sorts of different things that people explain. They're very interesting, but it's how they perceive the concept to me. But anyways, I do think like this energy is, that it is some sort of like you can't get out of here. Like the people who can't expand through this, they definitely will not be going into the age of Aquarius. I just saw this woman talking about that the reason people aren't having babies right now is because souls don't want to come to Earth anymore. She said, souls don't want to come to Earth anymore. They're stopping coming here, and that they are, the souls that aren't having babies are stopping coming. It was this whole thing that she was saying. I was like, that is so strange. I think that people are lining up to come, especially to the new Earth, where it isn't going to be such, I think a lot of people are going to want to come in and experience that. A lot of souls. I think the souls that have been here, like you can't just come in and do one life. You have to do a series of lives. And like the lives that I remember are, from a long time ago. There's people who are, there's all different ages that you can live in, and there's all different places that you can live in. Like, it's where you focus your mind, your energy is what you pay attention to. It's what, and even our concept of like soul contracts, like we imagine it being a certain way because of how we do contracts. But, soul contract is just a written word. It's just an agreement. It's just, souls agreeing and roles. I don't think we sit up there, giving our signature. Like, whose signature would we give? We're multiple beings. We're just going in. It's like it's a game, and the game is created so we can play the game. But we go in to create the game. But we each agree to play a part. But it is so natural how things happen. It isn't like people just think things in a different way. Like, I don't know how I can only think of it as like a real 3D way of perception. But I think that that is why this stuff is, there's a lot of people here for this expansion. But for that lady to say people don't know, the reason why there would be less people being born right now, like from what I understand, there's tons of babies being born right now. And, we have a lot also not making it all the way, but that is for that certain family to experience, to wake them up, like, because there's all different reasons. It can be something at the hospital, it could be something in a family member that's stuck, it can be like so many different things. But a lot of the death right now is for certain individuals to experience, because it knocks you down. When you experience death, it knocks you off your, it is a traumatic, hard thing to go through that brings up, as soon as you stop to sit, then, you're forced into thinking, and people are always thinking about things that don't want to think about when somebody dies. It's just part of the process. And then it probably is because it stops you in your tracks. So it stops the noise in here, and you focus on emotion and your pain, and all of this stuff starts coming up. So, but a lot of the death that is happening, that is for that kind of thing. It's for personal, but there's just so much of it right now because there's so much expansion happening. Everybody's having it happen at once. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of it. But the other thing is too, is the problem with the infertility has another level of moving us as a collective to see what they're doing with the pharmaceuticals and the toxins and stuff in the food, that there are all these hormone disruptors and stuff like that. I just saw this one girl talking about that she might be the one who, she became bipolar going off of hormone stuff. So, and hormone stuff is very, like, I started hearing about the hormone stuff, man, when I swear when I was a teenager or something, that is when they started telling, there was girls that were dying of blood clots because they smoked cigarettes and also took birth control. Anybody lived back then, you remember that. And then, but they're always like, oh, well, you can't, they're always blaming it on us. That's definitely not the pill. We got some people who, same thing with these. It's always us. We're always the ones who are broken. God made a mistake. God made a mistake on genders. God made a mistake. All of it. But, like, because we are the God. We are the creators. So we all made a mistake. We came in here broken so they could fix us. Yeah. Okay. And so, with the hormone thing, then when I got older, and they said I had to get a hysterectomy and stuff, and now, seeing what all these women are going through, I was like, oh my God, this is all the same stuff that I went through, and now all these women are going through it. It's weird. But, and I had so many different things. Like, I went through an ablation, and then ended up still having to get a hysterectomy. And that's when I got the brain injury. Like, Western medicine, did nothing ever to benefit me. All they did was break me more and more and more. And, but it took a lot of times to see, like, because you do take it on as your own. You take it on as something's wrong with you. But then it's a beautiful thing when you realize, oh, it's a system. So if I get off that system and I focus on this other one, and do natural and listen to my body, then it's a different system. Like, it's so strange to awaken to this different, it's a whole different way of living. How they've tried to force us into that was the only way, it was their way. It was not even just the only way, it was the best way. That we had progressed, of course, progress. And as such, this, like, we're so lucky to have all these great science minds, I mean, they figured out how to put computers directly into our brain. How lucky are we? So, and they figured out how to put, mix a human in and a whatever. I'm sure they've tried them all, you know, or maybe there's going to be also a museum of that, of all of the creatures that they tried to create out of humans and all the colors and all the stuff they've done. That would be a curious museum. It would be sickening. But I think the cities are going to turn into, I don't think people are going to be living in cities. I think there's going to be a big clearing out. And some, you know, will possibly be from storms or from, I don't know. Well, I don't know what's going to go down. Like something is going to go down. So, there could be some cities destroyed from that. But whatever it's going to be, people are going to move out towards places where they can get land and be able to take care of themselves and get their own food. But then I also think that there's going to be a big change in how we fuel ourselves. And so I think that, you know, we're going to understand more about energy. And so I don't think it's going to be the same. I think a lot of things are going to be changing when this quantum thing starts. And because we have to also elevate ourselves. It's like, you know, we're going to have a big jump, a bit like technology is going to take a huge leap for us because we've been so held back from the truth. And so technology is going to be a giant leap. But see, we've got to kind of catch up with it. And in a sense, it is that, you know, they've been cutting people off, you know, trying to sever them from their spirit self. Then you got to heal all that stuff. And since people, you know, carrying a lot of pain from past lives and all sorts of stuff, and when they start connecting to their spiritual side, they have to start processing, you know, a lot of pain and seeing the world is a much more expansive process. And so, you know, that is going to be a whole thing as people are moving into the quantum reality. Because even with the med beds and stuff, I heard you have, like somebody who is low vibration can't just go in there and it's going to raise their vibration. Like you have to do work on yourself and raise your vibration. You have to start taking care of yourself or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm really hoping the med beds are going to be really fast. I swear. You know, it's so curious to see what's about to be behind the curtain. You know, there's so many possibilities. There's so much that could go down. And so it's curious to see what's to come. Today's Sunday. So could be, you know, Monday. Hopefully Monday comes in hot. But I also, on the date thing, and there's all these people doing gematria and stuff on these dates too. You can go and look up those kinds of things if you're into reading that. But the 12, 21, 22 and the 12, 22, 22 is supposed to be some sort of significant dates. So, oh yeah, because I didn't finish about that either. Okay, so Jeffrey, he got a job from, you know who, Barr, the guy called Bill. Okay, so he has a dad. He was a headmaster at said school. And at the said school that hired Jeffrey, which he worked for quite a while, he was whatever, some, you know, it was like he was his boss. And so then when Jeffrey left, he left. And he, Mr. Barr, he also wrote a book. And it is it's a sci-fi, I don't know if it is a sci-fi fantasy book about men having little kids as their slaves for rituals and for sex. So he wrote a book about it. And then the person who was doing this video, one of the people, because this is not just one person. This one person who had went and looked up the book on Amazon to find it. It's $400 for this book. So she, and while she was talking, I was thinking, oh, you got to go on one of those used book sites and find it. And so I don't know if that's what she did, because she said, I got the book. And she said, I didn't pay $400 for it either. And it's all wrapped in cellophane. Like, it's all pristine, because it's like, it's a first edition, 1970s or something like that. So it's, you know, old book. And so she's gonna open it and read it and see. But, you know, I mean, now we know it is being unveiled, you know, what side. You know, it was very confusing there for a while with old Bill. Like, when he did that, playing the bagpipes, oh, I was like, oh, that is, I don't know, it just really moved me. I just felt it in my soul. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then the next movie made that I had seen, you know, was something totally sus. Then it's been downhill ever since. Then once he started going up against saying, you know, all that was completely legit and all that, then it was like, no way, dude. You're no way on our side. But now to find out how deep it goes, you know. And another thing, this is just a weird thought too, is Julia Roberts is putting her daughter out there right now, or the media or whatever, you know, whoever, whatever they do. It's all, so she's 16 and she's very pretty and she looks, you know, kind of like a clone of Julia Roberts. I was like, I don't know. It's very just, I don't know, like there's something weird with some of these people. They go and then they have these clone looking kids. Like, all the time when I watch movies, I see people who look exactly like somebody else. It is weird. There is way too many of them that look exactly like the same, especially younger versions of them constantly and stuff. It's weird. And just knowing how, you know, how this place works and how many social seekers there are, you know, looking for social status, who would definitely, you know, go raise a baby that's going to be a star. You know, they'll sell their kid's soul. Well, it's not even their kid. They're just the one raising it. And, you know, they're going to start doing that more and more with these. You're going to have 30,000 of them. And how many labs you're going to have? Like, God damn. It's so creepy. But, I don't know. There's just something weird. And then the way that they all, you know, go and adopt all these black kids, brown kids, whatever colored, you know, different hues of darkness. Like, it's weird. And they all act like they're doing such a big favor, but then when you start finding out about the trafficking and stuff, and so, you know, you see one and, you know, how do you even know that these are the same kids that grew up? Especially because that is one thing. I see a lot of videos, so many girls coming out about the families they were born into and what their families were doing. And I think every city, I mean, you had to go small town. And even in a small town, you know, I think they infiltrated in some areas because with drugs and crime and stuff, what they would get going. And I think that they tended to certain areas, especially areas with darker skinned girls, especially areas with darker skinned girls that they don't count on the Census Bureau. Like, it's, you know, because they want access all the time. So sick, like what these people do. I don't even remember what I was saying. I start seeing stuff that is just like, it's like I just want this stuff to go. out of here, off of this planet. And I mean, to sit there and say people are not going to be, no souls, like this is a spiritual person talking about reincarnation, and then telling people, oh, light is so bright. And I'm telling you, I swear, when I am, like, my eyes hurt so much worse facing this. Like, when any light, that is one thing I've definitely noticed. Any of these lights really, really bother my eyes. It's the LED and this loud fucking hissing is gonna fucking drive me crazy. And I'm sure it's the phone. I haven't been running that stupid thing. And then they're putting in houses as fast as they can. It is mental how hard they're working. It's like 10 degrees outside. But we're going to work from 5 in the morning until 10 at night. Like, it's motherfucking ridiculous. I can't even believe this shit here. God, I cannot wait to... yesterday, and the planes will be so loud. And I'm constantly thinking, man, maybe a plane's just going to come. Just, you know, go right down in our neighborhood. I don't know. It's weird how those people just, I don't know, it's weird. What was I going to say? I can't remember. Yeah. If it was something with the noise is so horrible. So it's just as loud. I don't know if they're just blowing shit up again, making more roads. Like, oh my God, it's so disgusting. It's absolutely so disgusting, especially knowing, you know, like how people used to live. Then they drew them into the cities, all shiny, you know, dangling shiny objects. Everybody runs in, even though, you know, the lights of the city. That's the Sodom and Gomorrah. You don't want to go there. You know, bad things happen there. And it was true, like, you know. I mean, out in a small town, you could still, you know, find the dark. The dark could still find you. It's inside of you, you know. It's all by a choice. It's a daily choice, which side you choose. And it's minute by minute, you know. It's every single time anything happens, you make your choice. But, you know, still going into the cities, you know, and the whole thing with the fancy lights and stuff, it was all that dangling shiny objects and what people would go in to participate and what people became. But then they turned it into our lives, and it became like sitting here building these cities and stuff, and then telling us that there's no food. And it's like, I mean, they aren't fucking stupid. They know. All they got to do is say, hey, you know, this city thing, it's not working out so well. Why don't y'all head out, you know, start cooking, growing your own food. Take care of yourselves for a while. No. A corporation can't exist without the consumers. So we have to, they'll do whatever it takes to keep themselves alive. And so we are the ones who have to see. We're the ones that have to see. You're just sucking our fucking life away. You're sucking our energy away. And crowding us in these places, and people are tense and angry, and we're not meant to live like this. You know, you cannot just take, you know, think about it, anything in nature. Could you just go and take all these herds? Like, we're going to go gather the herds up out here. I mean, they own all the deers. Going to gather all the deers and force them all in one little fucking pen. Like, and how many of the deers, like, will there be some fighting? Like, it's natural to need your tribe, to need your group, the people you're in alignment with, and to need your space, your area to exist, and to need to take care of yourself. You know, that is freedom. Not being dependent on anybody else taking care of you. That's the truest form of freedom, and that is what is all, you know, that's what we're all about. This person sitting there saying, like, for reincarnation and stuff, like, nobody's going to be coming here anymore. You know, it's like, I don't know if she understands, like, about the changing of the ages. I'm sure there's spiritual people out there talking about climate change. I'm positive I've seen it. I'm positive I've seen tons of tarot readers talk about it and stuff. And so they don't even understand the earth cycles. And the fucking government is using the earth cycles and hiding what is happening so that they can tax us and make us pay. It's like pay for our own demise. Don't prepare. Don't take care of yourself. Just, sit back. We got you. It's like, it's fucking bullshit. We can see what you're doing to the skies. The fucking ground is covered with poison. We're breathing in poison. Everybody's dying around us. Like, So there is some things that have to happen on a big level because everything is micro, macro. But, I for sure believe the mass amount of death is for each individual. Like, those are very individual. Like, there is some fucking traumatic shit going down, man. Traumatic shit. And then that is, that family, that ancestry, that lineage, that whatever, that group is for all their stuff. And it is soul stuff. Like, if people could get into understanding that, they could go in and process it and understand it probably on another level. But they'll just get caught up in the three-dimensional pain. But that is necessary to move them in to the abilities to be more self-reflective on a spiritual level and to not be so dependent on a three-dimensional diagram of, how you feel and how you're supposed to feel and what you're supposed to do. I swear to God, it's like a training center here. That's what it seems like. But it's also an opportunity for you to find your balance between your light and dark. And this time on our planet is about to show you your alignment, show you. Because there's so many people. That is one thing on TikTok. There's so many self-righteous motherfuckers who think that they are, they know it all and that they see it all. And, and they're talking about stuff that they're very wrong about what they see. And they don't know that, but they're so self-righteous. And, so many bullies, like, oh my God, the bully stuff is really getting purged out of our thing with how people are, people, grown-ass adults say some of the nastiest, most childish shit. And there's a lot of them that are bots, but there's actual people. Like, you can go and look at their account, and there'll be actual people doing it. So it is part of what is inside of them. And then they're going to have to purge it out. But the thing is going to be, that's going to be hard, is the reflection once they see. Because right now, they're doing it as as a reaction. They're just reacting to life. But then when this energy changes again, especially when it goes the other direction, then it's going to turn into reflection. And that is why, what you've been putting out is going to come back to you. So you will see what you've been putting out because it will be reflected back to you. And so some of these people who think like, they know it all and they're just rude as fuck, and then that is going to come back to them. They're going to see, and it's going to play out in a lot of different ways. That's one thing. There's not just like one template. It's an energy. So it's going to, move like energy, but every soul has its own destiny, its own design, its own flight plan, so, and, there's a lot of dramatic souls, I swear to God. Like, some of this stuff is like, oh my God, it didn't have to be so horrendous, did it? Like, such horrendous shit is happening. And so, like, man. But to me, I feel, I don't know. I feel a lot of things about this, like, when they're sitting there spraying and stuff, it's like, man, this is kind of like quarantine was this kind of going into this safety zone, but it was like where they were trying to tell us to stay away from sickness and stuff. It was out in the air. It was on the ground. It was all around us. And so then, we have to kind of go in to stay free from it. And so then it's like, it is like they are making our lives smaller without, but it's weird because it's like, because the people who aren't awake, they're out there breathing that shit in all day long. You know, they're out there getting cancer like a motherfucker. So they, you know, they don't even know. So they have to go through all this medical stuff to find out. I mean, there's people who still look up at the sky and think it's totally normal. I've fucking literally been told that you've never looked at a sky, obviously. God damn. People are so... It just, it becomes like a joke at some point, you know. It's like, oh my God, what do you see when you look in the sky? Is it weird? Oh my God, damn. But anyways, you know, you're going to see what you're programmed to see, like, you know, and since the whole thing has fallen apart, you know, the people who are holding on to their programming the most, and, you know, that holding on to your programming comes from your ego, and it comes from fear, and it comes from dependence. So there's a lot of things that people have got to break free over the next couple of years. And where I hear people talking about, like, you know, I hear a lot of other people talking about, like, the astrology or something for 2023 and 2024 and 2020. Like, it is all leading. It is like the same thing what I was talking about, the learning through the generations. It's learning through the time, you know. And that is why for some of us, you feel like, you know, we're ahead. Because it's like, come on, everybody catch up. And you can't make them catch up. You can't get them to even see what you're talking about until they can see. Once they can see, you know, but the weird thing is once they get to the point of seeing, there's just like way more and way more and way more. So that's why I was like, that's I think why they've made a point so many times of showing me how many people like that are asleep, like that it's huge numbers, like, and I don't know all of the things why they show me some of the things, like, but it can be burdensome for energy, you know. And a lot of people, as they wake up, they realize like the empathic nature of energy. And so, you know, you're going to feel other people's energy, but a lot of people don't realize that they are, see. And that is why, you know, they jam pack us up here like this on top of each other. And then people are angry and mad and fighting and stuff like that. And they just don't realize, you know, that is, it's not really them. It's just this chaotic energy. You know, as most people in their core nature are kind and loving, you know, they want to go sit and, you know, a bird comes and lands on them, or a butterfly. Most people are going to have the same reaction, you know, a dragon. I mean, there's some that are going to get scared and scream, you know, so think of something that is not scary. But most people are going to have the same reaction to something that is gentle. But then, you know, you're going to have some that are going to be like, oh, cool, I'm going to pull your wings off. You know, and that is, you know, that is something in their soul that they haven't expanded to get to the point of compassion. You know, they haven't felt pain yet. They don't understand pain. And so, or they don't care. You know, and that's where they come with this antisocial personality disorder. It has no... it's disconnected from its empathic side, and it's just has no compassion, doesn't care. That's why I can go in and torture somebody and, you know, watch them scream, and they're just amazed, like, why are they doing that? What are they doing? You know, like a robot or something. Because they're disconnected from what makes us human. Is, you know, humanity has feelings. It's an energetic being that has a different kind of connection. That, like, humans have a different kind of connection than a lot of other beings. You know, so all I know is it is a really exciting time. You know, we're about to go into a huge expansion. And I don't agree at all that, you know, people are stopping coming here. I think there's tons of people coming here. I think Dolores Cannon even said that. Like, there's way more coming right now. And, you know, but there's some that are going to be a lot of impact on death and stuff because it's something that people have to realize of what they were doing, how it was affecting us, and what the real significance to the human race was happening, and how they've been manipulating, you know, us as beings, as, you know, science projects for them. But it is like when you really start seeing about that level, it is really exciting, you know, like this Westworld awakening. Like we were droids, we were just these like robot people, just, you know, go to work, go home, go to the party, go, you know, just like all the time. And now we're waking up to like, hey, I can grow my own food. Like, so anyways, I think it's really exciting times, you know, and there's just so much chaos, like, you know, whatever you're feeling, you know, there is a good thing to just staying yourself and be really reflective as much as you can. Constantly be reflecting on yourself. Not, you know, it's so easy when everybody wants to think it's somebody else. It's always somebody else. I'm telling you, reading that Gaslight book to me, really, if you can just find a book on some sort of self-help or healing or some kind of toxic behavior that you think is, you know, just narcissism. If you find a good author who knows what the fuck, then you can, you know, read it and see your part. So if you had, you know, narcissistic relationships one after another, you know, to me, it was the Gaslighting book. When I went in and read that and I could see my part, that is empowering. You've got to see your part you're playing in your own dramas, in your own toxic relationships. Once you see your part, you can start breaking your patterns. It doesn't happen automatically. It's a process. And you got to learn to not be hard on yourself, not judge yourself. Go through the process, because there is learning in the process. That it is what helps you to evolve and expand. You don't have to do things fast. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You just have to, you know, become you, basically. So anyways, now I have been talking a while. So hopefully I did say something that made sense. So anyways, it's still the middle of the night. It's just now 4:15 in the morning. My days are different at this point. Like, I found myself last night, I had such a bad headache. Oh my gosh. That, you know, even in my ear, some of the times it's like, oh my God, is my eardrum about to pop? Because you know, when you're on an airplane and it starts changing that, it does that. Well, I'm just sitting here. And that is the frequency. That is what they're doing. And this radiation, and oh man, I just feel like once somebody else is in charge, I feel like that there's a lot of this electronics. Like, I hope that is a part of the thing, that the grid goes down. You know, I can fucking handle a week eating crackers. I don't even care. I've got fucking hummus that I think is 2 weeks old. Fucking eat it. I don't give a shit. I don't know. But I'll eat crackers. I don't give a shit. If we could have no fucking frequency for a while, oh my God, it will feel so good. Oh, I think that right there, people will be shocked how much better they'll feel. You know, they'll be all panicky and focused on that and get their hormones and all their emotions going, you know, out of fear. But if they could sit and relax and just be like, oh, silence. Because people don't realize how much it affects inside your body. I can feel it. It's fucked. And, man, the stabbing in my ear and stuff, like, it's intense lately. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.